Before we start this video, just a reminder, I'm still doing the free giveaway. If you're not, or if you are aware of it, as reaching the 5k milestone for the YouTube and big milestone, thank you so much. I thought I'd just pay back to the community by giving away some vouchers. So giving away £40 worth of vouchers. So first, second, third place. So there's multiple chances to at least win something. Now I have reduced the time. I was going to put it for the end of October, but I think I'll reduce it to the middle of October, just because, well, plenty of you have already applied, and I just want to give you the vouchers as soon as possible because I don't know, I'm just a little kid. I probably will give them out on a live stream. I think I'll be doing a 12-hour live stream in 2 weeks. So I'm trying to do it to end that time so you can watch live and you can see who the winners are. So if you haven't already, enter. It's absolutely free. There's nothing to do. You just need to be a sub or follower. So just click on that. Doesn't cost you anything, and then you're entered. That's it. It's all details. Once you win, you get sent an email and you get the link to obviously collect them. That's it. So if you haven't already, I'll put a link in the description. If not, it is on my community tab, so you can go to my community tab and it's on the top here. So yeah, thank you very much. It's just a little payback for how awesome you, the community, have been, and how lovely our time and how many friends I've made. And let's begin the video. Hi everyone, and welcome to another Road to End Games. I hope you're doing well. Apologies if I look a bit messy or if I sound a bit messy. I'm a bit poorly at the moment, but I hope you guys are healthy and well. So we're in tournament day. It is Wednesday, and I am in a 3-man tournament, which is quite lucky as me. I'm currently first, 2k lead ahead. I'm sure I'm gonna be getting first. It's pretty fine. A couple of changes since last time. I have pushed a bit more since last video. I believe my last cap I got, what did I do? 59,479, and now I'm at 63. So I tend to be pushing about a few 1,000 stages per week. I will be trying to do a couple more Road to Endgame videos because we're getting near the end now. So I'm going to do a push. You tend to push quite easy at this point when you get to, once you get all your artifacts, it's very easy to push. It's just a case of getting those completed sets, like mythic sets. So I'm currently only have a few more enchantments yet to discover. Once you have all the enchantments and all the artifacts, everything, the only way you really push then, like big pushes, is when you start completing mythic sets. So once I do, then I'll probably will do, I still do the videos, but maybe not as much. Maybe get more in depth to like late end game strategies. Maybe a couple guides on them, videos on them, because nothing really much changes apart from maybe the way you push is slightly different. Because then at that stage you can actually push in and outside tournaments, so it slightly changes. But I'll go much more in depth on those kind of strategies in upcoming videos. So make sure you follow and hit that. Ding that bell button so you know when that's going to happen. So go. Oh look, legendary, nice. This, have I got a better tap than that? 165. I have. I shall keep that. All right, so I'm going to answer some of your questions from the last video. Thank you very much for leaving and comment questions. I really do appreciate them. It's basically just a great way to get you, obviously, your name in a video. It's a bit of flex, but also get engagement with you guys and the community. Okay, oh, someone says, Victor Alam says, I know you said that saving your shards for mythic set would be recommended, but I would like to get Eternal Monk set for that sweet boost for port chance and skip them out. It really speeds up farming speed. It's true, there's two crafting equipments legendary sets, which boost, let's have a look, your run time a bit. So first one's Noble Fencer set, that gives you advanced stage start. So higher clan, you want to get the 92.5, which is the max advanced stage start you can get, and that reduces run time significantly. But you can also get Thunder Deity, which increases the snap spawn, and Eternal Monk, which increases the porter spawn chance. So the more chances of getting snap and porter, again quickens your run time. So yes, personally, my reply was I actually use diamonds to complete mythic sets and not shards, just because if you were to get quite a few pieces, it could cost you an extra like 50, 60, 70 shards, which is way better spent on legendaries, on mythics, because mythics take longer and harder to complete because they're higher cost, while legendary sets, sometimes you get a chance to complete legendary sets pop up when you hit those milestones. So pop up just around about here, and it costs you diamonds. So what I tend to do is stockpile my diamonds as much as I can. So I've got about 5,000 now, and whenever that pops up, I'll use it to complete my legendary sets. That means I'm not spending any shards, and I'm using my spare diamonds for legendaries to complete these sets. Obviously, if you're impatient, you can use your shards if you want to, but if you want to play a long-term strategy, completing your mythic sets as soon as possible will be more beneficial. One here from AP Student, Patrick No Caro says, should I switch to Heavenly Strike build after my AG set? That's Angelic Guardian set. I have 1,300 skill points and only need 2 more pieces for the AG set. I have Mechanized Sword and Ancient Warrior set already. Now, I basically said it's up to you. It's basically your playstyle. Heavenly Strike build tends to be quicker, but it's very active. So if you have enough time to play, if you're the sort of person that has hours each day to spend smashing the Heavenly Strike button actively, then yes, it could be beneficial, especially when you've got a lot of skill points in it. It actually pushes quite decent. A lot of late game players use it to push levels because it's quicker than, well, better push than Shadow Clone. So yes, it could be beneficial for you if you're an active player. If you're not, say you've got work, college, uni or family, you're very busy and you can only play a minimum amount of time, then maybe Shadow Clone could be better because that's a more of a passive, easygoing, plays itself sort of build. So it's all down to your play style. If you feel up for it, definitely give it a try. There's no harm in trying. Just do a screenshot of your previous clanship build so you can always swap back, if, worst case scenario. What I will say is when you do change, give yourself a bit of time because you have to respec all your artifacts to the new build. So you need to make sure they're re-leveled to give yourself a few runs worth. So good luck with that, buddy. Okay, this one is from Jonathan Carlson. Hi Soulrise, I'm hoping you can help with this question. From about 90% of my max stage, I never see a boss with or without snap. No bosses, no porter, bad. How do I fix this? I'm using the clanship build and my max stage is 30k. Aerosol 19. Basically, it's giving me his specs. Basically, what he's... I'll explain what the difference between a snap and porter is. The reason you can't see it is because the porter is a boss titan, while snap halves the titan in between stages. So that's why you never see a snap as a boss, or during a boss, because it's not. You might see the use of snap or porter splash through bosses, but that's splash damage adding to the snap, not snap on its own. So I'll give you a direct definition of what snap and porter is, and then it'll probably make it a bit more clearer. But what's happening at the moment is correct. That's absolutely the right thing to do. I think which is a bit of confusion about what snap and porter does. That's why you're not getting, you think you're not getting it, but you are. So snap is a titan that reduces the number of titans per stage by half for 50 stages. So additionally allows you to splash skip every titan in a stage when splashing, rather than requiring you to use splash count to kill 1 titan per stage. When high enough splash skip, using splash through bosses, damage source, and having enough splash damage, you can splash through as many stages as you have splash count. So as I mentioned, it basically halves the titans per stages, but if you've got splash damage source, for example, high artifact in boss damage or non-boss damage, then it would actually use the splash damage added to that, will splash through some stages on top of the snap, but you won't see it as a boss. Porter is a boss titan that uses stage skip to move you 50 stage forwards. Now it's not splashing, it just simply moves you 50 stage forwards, but again it can be used with splash. So if you've got splash damage that happens at the same time, you could see when you use porter, it does more stages than 50 because it's adding that splash damage to that skip, and it's just adding the amount of stages you would add to that, if that makes sense. So to answer your question, so that's basically answer your question. It says when you snap, so as I said, snap doesn't go through bosses unless you've got extra splash damage that goes through with it, because it kills non-boss titans. I hope that's made clear. If not, there is a splash mechanic video I did a while back that explains it in much more detail, so you can watch that, but I hope that's answered it. But yeah, long story short, there's nothing wrong with what's going on. What you've got is correct. the correct thing that's happening is meant to be happening. You just need to increase your splash damage and it will make you run quicker. Okay, we've got Yamoshi says, hello, big fan of videos. Thanks, buddy. Hope you're enjoying them. I'm currently at 15k. New player, been about 2 weeks. Do you think a mostly rogue build with some knights, cleaving strike is visible? One shard away from wolf set. Do you know how long it takes to get night set to apply, or best use of it? Thanks a lot. So what I think about happening here is that you're using rogue build. Basically, they're probably looking at Silent March build. If you Google Tap Titans 2, there is a Tap Titan Wikipedia, I think, which is showing Silent March build. There is no Silent March build anymore. There's no inactive build. There's no such thing. That doesn't count. So the Rogue Knight Tree combination is not a build. The most visible build you should be using is Clanship build. So for beginner players, I would recommend to use Clanship. It's stable, even if you are on a not active player. Doesn't matter. If you're not active, you simply when you level up, you get more Silent March, which is inactive sneak count. And you can also, if you really want, you can put skills into, let's have a look, into the road tree, into Master Thief. This is inactive gold, and you can do stuff like cloaking, which gives you basically a beginning stage skip and stuff like that. And as I mentioned in the previous videos, you can do things like joining a high level clan to make your run time shorter, so when you do play, at least you can get a couple runs in. But yeah, Clanship build is the go-to beginner guys build, so I recommend using that build. And I also recommend to watch the beginner's guide video, which tells you more about, you know, the mechanics and little tips and bits for new players as well. If you've got any questions further, leave a comment. I'll be glad to answer them as well. Another question from Carsten Holmby Punsens says, Shadow Clone or Heavy Strike build? Two questions. You need to have, for Shadow Clone build, well, for both of them, you need to have over 1,000 skill points minimum, because you need a lot of skill points for it to be good. You need to have good mana regen, so you need to have all your mana regen artifacts leveled up, also high level fluffers, so you can good mana regen. And if you've got those two things, the second question I would ask is for Heavy Strike. You need it's better to have the Angelic Guardian set completed. If you've got that, Heavy Strike should be good. And for the Shadow Clone, you need the Necromancer, the Ruthless Necromancer set completed. If you have got that, Shadow Clone could be better. So those two mythic sets, AG for Heavy Strike and RN for Shadow Clone, those complement those own builds. And top that all up, what is your playstyle? If you've got the right amount of mana regen, if you've got the right amount of skill points, and if you've got the right the mythic sets to help boost it, what is your playstyle? Are you an active player? Can you play the game for like hours on end each day, like 2, 3, 4, 5 hours? Then Heavy Strike will be the build for you. If you're very busy, if you've got work, commitments, family, friends, other things, school, college, then maybe Shadow Clone, because you don't have to actively keep activating the skills. You can just check it every few minutes and you can pretty much level up in the background. So maybe Shadow Clone be better. So maybe check which one would be better to suit your play style and then aim towards that. That will be my suggestion for those two builds. Hope it helps. William says, how to use Artifact Optimizer. I actually showed that how to use that in the last video, so just watch last videos and I'll show you, and it shows you how to do that. I've also done a video called Build Resources Guide, so if you look at that video, that goes for it in much more detail, plus the other things on the Compedium website. In that video, I think it's around about the 8-minute mark. Also, I'm actually doing a video in the works called Optimize Mistakes. So there's a couple optimizers out there. There's the Google Sheet, the app, the TT Master app, and also the Artifact Optimizer on the tools section on the Compendium website. So I'm going to make a video about that in optimizing mistakes, because there's a couple of frequent little mistakes that new people make when leveling artifacts, and the different ones they use, and what actually the differences between those types of artifacts are, optimizers are. So watch out for that video. As I mentioned, if you haven't subbed and followed, hit that bell, because I believe I should be able to release it the end of this week, if not beginning of next week. But it is in the work. It's a very I was gonna big myself up saying it's a very good video, but it's it's one of these videos that say no one really talks about or thinks about or wouldn't even think about. So I think it'd be very useful, because you don't notice the mistakes you're doing until someone points you out. I make mistakes all day, but unless you're told, you won't know. So I think it's very interesting. It'd be good conversation to see the trends and how to make the most optimal optimizer for your artifacts as possible, and not shoot yourself in the foot long term down the road. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it'll make more sense when the video's out, so hopefully that'll be soon. Some said, when will the next update be? Nothing to see here. If I haven't known, the update was meant to be out Tuesday, which was yesterday. It was delayed. Unfortunately, it was the iOS Apple Store didn't allow the update to push through, so I think they delayed it to next Tuesday. So I believe the next update, 3.14, should be out Tuesday the 29th of September. For the latest information, you can join my Discord. It has Tap Titans news, so as soon as we get the latest news from Game Hive, they post it and it appears in the Discord section. So if you want to keep up to date, you can join my Discord, link in the description, and just keep your notifications on the TT News channel bit, and I'll tell you in there when it pops up. One more from Wide. Can you choose which artifact to enchant? Is already set by game. It's already set by game. It's set. Yeah, they're already set by the game. I think the first one is Books of Shadows. I can't remember the other ones, but they are in set order, so you don't have to worry about that. It just obviously when it unlocks, you just update and it automatically unlocks the next one available for you. Another one from Edwin says, I'm at 7.5 max stage. Should I switch to Shadow Clone build? As I mentioned before, I think it's down to your playstyle. If you've got enough skill points and also the right mythic sets. So if you got over 1,000 skill points, and if you do want to do Shadow Clone because you're chilled, you want a bit of a passive, relaxed build, Shadow Clone could be good for you. But I would recommend to make sure you got definitely enough skill points, because if it's too weak, it would just it would be longer than your current build. You wouldn't push as much. So don't. Some people, I think this is my opinion about builds. I think that's one of the most asked questions I get, is either which build do I use, or when should I change my build. Now I believe I'm like this as well. Some people, when I first started, if I change my build, it'll give me a quick win, and you'll move 1,000 stages and you'll complete the game in half the time, and it's like some sort of cheat or some sort of win. It's nothing like that. When you get to the right amount, so when you pretty much unlock your middle stage, whenever you swap builds between Clanship, Heavenly Strike and Shadow Clone, the amount of stages you gain, if you're properly optimized, the amount of stages you get is minimal. It's normally between like a couple of hundred or maybe a few hundred. So between a Shadow Clone and Heavy Strike, if you swap build and it's properly optimized, you might only gain an extra 200, 300, 400 stages. Obviously that is still, plenty, but it's not going to give you 10,000 stages. It's not going to give you 20,000 stages. It's not going to make a huge difference. The amount of time, the difference being is this speed, the run time. So the most beneficial is if you have the time to play it. So for example, a Clanship build could take you 30-40 minutes, but Heavy Strike build could only take you 20 minutes runtime. So it means obviously Heavy Strike build be a lot quicker, but then the Clanship can push you an extra 500 stages. The Heavy Strike build could not be as strong, but it's half the time quicker. So if it's quicker, you can farm more. That might help you more. So it all depends. It all have the pros and cons. But I do say this: don't try to change a build too early. I see a lot of people change builds way too early. I say make sure you get the AG sets or the Iron set, Mythic sets. You have enough mana, and just take your time. I said it's not going to make much difference on your build or on your push if you change build. So it's not going to make much difference. You're not going to get a huge win just because you change the build. As a matter of fact, I know a lot of people who've stuck with the Clanship build throughout the whole game, and near the end game it becomes a beast anyway. It comes really fast when you start stacking up your splash damage and the passives and that sort of thing. It becomes very quick, and it's one of the strongest builds and the most reliable. So Clanship, don't knock it. It's a really good build, So thank you so much for all the comments, questions. Sorry, I rambled on a bit this week, didn't I? It's my lurgy. It's making me overthink stuff. But I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, like and subscribe. It does help the channel out a lot.